Tragic case happening in Georgia, where arrests have been made in the case of a missing woman who is now believed to be dead. 19-year-old Morgan Bauer vanished back in 2016. She was last seen in an Instagram video posted on February 26th in a local park. And she had just moved to Georgia from South Dakota at the time that she went missing. Now, her family says she only had $20 to her name when she moved, and she was planning on staying with somebody that she had talked to on Craigslist. But that arrangement only lasted one night after Morgan Bauer got into an argument with her roommate and moved out. We know she then took a job as a dancer at a club and 2 weeks later disappeared. Now, her family never stopped searching for her, and police believe now that she is dead. They've arrested two people and charged them in connection with the case, Jonathan Warren and Caitlin Goebel. Jonathan Warren is being accused of killing her, and Caitlin Goebel is being accused of helping cover up her death. Police believe that she was murdered and that her body was dumped. For more on this case, I want to bring back in our special guest, TJ Ward, who is a very well-known private investigator who has worked this case since the beginning. TJ, take us back. How did you get involved? Take us back to that point in time when the family reached out to you, please.
The mother, who lives up in South Dakota, called me and hired our firm to do an investigation. And the first part of the investigation, we had learned that she, after leaving there with a little bit of money in her pocket, and then, of course, she had a roommate, and she had a fallout with a roommate, but she was, our search was to look at strip clubs. And she was known to be at a strip club in Gainesville, Georgia, so we went to Gainesville. Then I learned that she was in Canton, Georgia, so we went to Canton, Georgia, and obviously there was a lot of Facebook information and lots of people talking about this case and how serious it was. And there was a lot of jokes about her going missing, and it was very serious. And I ended up meeting with two investigators in the city of Atlanta. And of course, there was billboards all over Atlanta telling her was missing, but she was never located. And I was a bit surprised that now this case has ended up in Porterdale, Georgia, and now there's two people have been taken into custody.
Right. Do you think it could have any connection with her last post online on Instagram on February 26, 2016? Apparently she was near the Porterdale Yellow River at a park there and put a post up. I know you said there were a lot of folks in the true crime community very interested, very much wanting to help out in any way and look for clues. My understanding there was a man seen behind her in the video. What do you know about that, please, TJ?
I just learned about that, and I saw the pictures, and there was pictures that's been posted on Facebook, and you can barely see a man walking behind her in the park. But I'm real surprised, and a lot of the information that's happened in Porterdale, Georgia, has not come out yet. They're still working this, but the two arrests, we don't know anything of how they came up with this information.
Right.
But two people are in custody, and one concealing a death, and the other one's been charged with her homicide.
Right.
So we're still looking and learning, and so hopefully we'll learn something. And I know they're working directly with the two investigators that I dealt with the city of Atlanta.
Oh,
now the GBI is involved, the Porterdale Police and the FBI also are involved. So this case has grown a little bit bigger than when I got involved in it, when the city of Atlanta was the only agency that was involved.
Sure. TJ, it is getting a lot of traction online, especially with what you were alluding to, the FBI and local authorities in Georgia hitting a house in Porterdale, Georgia. But they've been very tight-lipped about what they found. It was my understanding they were going in perhaps looking for Morgan Bauer's remains. Is that your understanding?
Or any evidence that may lead them to where she is. And the family in Porterdale is very cooperative, I understand, with law enforcement. So we may see other arrests come about this, and maybe one of the people that had been arrested may turn evidence over to them. But right now, there's no evidence been posted publicly in regards to what happened in Porterdale, other than the agencies that are involved and what's transpired at this point.
Right. TJ, I'm curious, did you ever come across the names of either Jonathan Warren or Caitlin Goebel during the course of your investigation early on?
No, never did. That's why I was a little surprised with who these people were and what evidence that led them to this, which we'll learn later, and then we'll see what transpires out of this.
Right. I understand that Jonathan Warren was arrested in Los Angeles,
Yes.
California, and then Caitlin Goebel arrested in Peoria, Illinois.
Yes.
Neither one arrested in Georgia, but curious if they have any ties here. Are you aware of any ties with either
No,
of
and
them?
I have not pulled any information purposely because I don't want anything to pop up with me doing intelligence information on these two that I'll get looked and questioned about this. They know that I was involved and what part I played in it from the beginning, and but none of these names have ever come up. And it'll be interesting to see how and why these two people, if they get extradited back to Georgia, and what transpires with that.
Right. Was there a point where the family kind of lost hope and said, just don't worry about looking any further, we're just going to try to accept the circumstances?
You know, there was not a real good relationship between Morgan and her mother, so I know she's real upset. Any person would be when they lose their child.
Sure.
And but we'll have to wait and see when they extradite him or any new information comes out and go from there.
When you started looking into this case, did it give you the sense that it was a homicide, or did you really think this is a runaway situation?
I fairly thought that she just wanted to get away from her family or whatever and start her own life. And but when she didn't show up at all these places that I learned that she was supposed to be, then there was some concerns. But I am real curious to know how law enforcement brought these two individuals that were involved, and how Porterdale never came up when I was conducting this investigation. So it will be interesting to learn and to find out what new information they have.
Oh, that's interesting, TJ. Never came up when you were in this earlier. Wow.
Nope. Gainesville and Canton, Georgia, and then, of course, dealing with the city of Atlanta. And so we didn't have any idea where she was. So it'll be real interesting to find out exactly when she disappeared and what transpired.
You know, I'm curious if there were any records of either of these two defendants frequenting the strip club where we understand Morgan Bauer had just started working. Are you curious about that too?
Yes, I'm curious to learn what the tie is with these two individuals and her going missing.
Was there any evidence of anything else suspicious you found? Anything like evidence of drugs or a debt owed or anything like that that gave you questions in your mind, TJ?
No, other than I had pictures when she was at the strip club in Gainesville. I had pictures with other people, but their faces were all blacked out for purposes. And but she was there at the strip club in Gainesville, and her mom ended up coming here and starting to look and follow up with leads that we had, and went to the strip clubs too, but nothing new when all the flyers got out and put out. But again, it remains to be seen what new evidence that law enforcement has and what led them to Porterdale, Georgia.
Right. Has the family reached out to you any time in recent weeks with these developments? It seemed that the end of last month was when the home in Porterdale was raided. Not sure what was uncovered, but any calls or messages from the family?
No, I got one message from her father, and she said she believes she's dead. And but that's the only message that I've gotten. And when I saw the evidence come up out on the news about this, it threw me, you know, for a loop that her name popped up. And I said, I know that name very well from a case in 2016.
Right, right. At what point did you stop with your investigation into disappearance?
About 2 months after we were involved in it, that we didn't, I talked to the mom, and she was a little concerned and frustrated that nothing had come up with her daughter. And so we we ceased working on at that point in time. But I'm glad now that there's new evidence for the family, and hopefully there's going to be closure to find the evidence of what happened to their daughter.
Right. TJ, I'm assuming the phone must have gone with her. Am I right? No phone was ever recovered,
No,
right?
not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
And I haven't read anything about that. Of course, it makes me wonder if she was posting on Instagram at a park. You know, maybe it was just some passerby behind her, and some man just happened to be in the picture, or could it be something more sinister?
Right.
Is it a lesson to be aware of our surroundings if we can take anything positive from such a tragedy? You know, and the hope is, of course, that she would be found alive, but it's not looking that way.
No, not at all. Not after 7 years. It's not. So we'll just have to wait and see what evidence that law enforcement has and what's put out public. And if they extradite the two individuals that they have brought charges against from Los Angeles and Peoria, Illinois, and see what transpires out of that, or see if any information comes from them, if one rolls over in the other. And
Right.
sometimes that happens in cases when the weaker charge, always, you know, for their benefit.
Oh, yeah.
And cutting deals with the government and be able to get real answers from the investigation.
Right. We're going to watch it closely. TJ Ward, such a pleasure having you in the studio. Thank you kindly
Thank you so much
for all of your analysis today.